The assignment, after you give your who you are and where you're at as of today report, I could just show the agenda. We
Okay.
just, we'd just like to know who you are and where you are at the middle of the semester, and then we'll get into a discussion of what we might do for the next few weeks until sometime. Keep going. So what I suggested was that we do an assignment and that you all do it today of doing a press release. How many of you have already published press releases? Okay, what kind of a press release did you publish, Flavia?
I used to work for an art gallery, so when
Who?
what?
Full?
For an art gallery.
Yeah.
So when we had a new exhibition, I used to do press releases too.
Okay. And what was Ryan's question?
How do I,
How long should it be?
how long should it be?
1 page,
Sweet.
I think is enough. If the media sends to you some guidance, so just
Follow the rules.
follow the rules. But if you don't know the rules, try 1 page. I think it's
Okay.
enough.
So Dante,
I also done the same. So I work as a marketing manager for a company, and so part of our public outreach is through PR or through press releases. We haven't done them for a while, but we just started again literally this last week.
when you say a while, how long?
2 years.
Interesting.
Do you think press releases are old, or do you think that they're,
I think they have. So we're B2B, so a lot of things we do are antiquated. But I think that there's merit to it for sure, because it's kind of a more officialized version of a statement.
Mhm.
You know, you have like normal blog posts and articles written by journals, but then you also have kind of official press releases, which they just function a little different.
Give us the specifics of one of them.
Of the content?
The content that you wrote a press release for.
This last one that we did was on a product called Ascend that we just released, which is a collaboration with another software
So
company.
it's a new product.
Yeah,
It's a marketing
new product.
opportunity.
Highlighting
Coca-Cola, good luck.
highlighting specifically our association and collaboration with another high reputation company. So the idea is we're trying to get our name out there and highlight this association and this partnership that we have with another firm.
oh, very nice.
Okay, so I was involved in developing a lot of press releases when I worked for NASA. And they actually had a training program, it was before the internet, of how to train people to write and deliver press releases. And the one thing I remember about one of the lessons was write a press release where the only readers that matter are elected members of the US Congress on their way to work to vote on the NASA budget. And they better read it in the newspaper in a chauffeur-driven car on the way to work. So, talk about a very narrow audience for publishing. And so, we had to practice doing it, and, how would senators in different states react differently? Maybe if it was about environmental pollution, it would please some. If it was about military use, it would please others. But it was, all the publishing I'd done until then was academic, technical article publishing, where it's a large audience you're trying to reach, not a very narrow one. In the NASA case, and I'm going to use it in the example that I give you since I do my own assignments. NASA said, images are worth 1,000 words in a press release. So it's frightening how a catchy picture of a galaxy colliding with another galaxy, what's that? And then people start reading down the page. Now, that's not always the case, but obviously, if you're in an art school, an image is worth 1,000 words. Anyway, so I just put together for your, okay, so here's two, and it's kind of wonderful being in a sitting arrangement. So that's for you and Belinda, that's for you, Flavia and Tina. And so I'm quite serious. For the end of the semester, I'd like Ryan to publish a press release you write. And headline, subheadline. So that often makes sense, but it doesn't always make sense. Sometimes the headline isn't clear enough about what city it's in or what time it's at. Provide your full name, Gina Kim Chen, or Chen Gina Kim, graduate student at the university, has announced today, blah, 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 this initial discovery or breakthrough. In the second, provide a little bit more detail, not too much. Include a quote from a key figure. And unfortunately, the guy to my right sent me a text message in the middle of the afternoon saying, I'm writing my press release, can you send me a quote? Why did you do that?
What's up?
Why did you text me asking me for a quote?
Well, because the one thing I do know about press releases is that typically quotes are good to have for somebody who's a professional or, right? I mean,
Yeah, so if you say,
I wanted it to be like,
don't say Donald Duck says, whatever the name of
No,
the president is.
I did your quote and I said by Dr. Molina,
Yeah,
professor of
and so
communication.
in my instructions, so you read my mind, include a quote from a key figure such as your faculty advisor or mentor.
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
No, I mean, so, yes, what you asked me to do is standard procedure. So if you're gonna announce something to a public, include a quote from someone that public respects.
Well, I wanted to build credibility on it.
So if it's a press release to the United Nations, get a quote from a UN ambassador to include in your press release. Takes a little bit of work. And details, blah, blah. Contact information. Okay, these days you don't include phone numbers, otherwise you get spam and phishing. And then most people on the planet don't know what UT Dallas is. So at the end, you can explain we're in a silo somewhere in Texas, somewhere on planet Earth. And then on the back, I found in my briefcase the NASA guidelines for preparing a press release. And if you Google online, it's frightening. They have like 18 pages of instructions.
And so you dumbed it down for us.
No. It's depending on the audience you're trying to read. NASA is over, the technical information should not be altered or dumbed down in ways that changes its meaning. So if you use a non-technical word, make sure it still means what the technical word meant.
It's kind of like a quote whenever you use it, or like something that you use in like a writing.
Yeah.
You can like add like a dot.
You should not include classified information, like what Roger does on the weekend. No, but it was sort of an interesting exercise, and I found it in my Google Drive. A lot of these NASA instruction sheets on how to write a press release. So, since I had nothing else to do, I did a NASA-style press release.
I used to work with other teacher in Brazil, and she have this interesting exercise when she asked the students to write a press release because NASA just found a meteor come to the Earth. And these 4 students in the first year of undergrad, they freak out like, I don't know,
falling on us. Okay, so I did an AI generated picture, which NASA does all the time, and it's true. Most pictures issued by NASA are fakes, deep fakes.
Oh, like, so like the moon landing, just kidding.
Well, no, the moon landing, okay, but no, the pictures of galaxies, they just tweak it until it looks interesting.
I have a question, Professor. Do you think the moon landing was real?
Yes.
I do too. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Well, they have moon dust on this campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
In the geology department, the Robert Stone's in.
Really?
Yeah, no. During the moon landing, there was a scientist here at UT Dallas. Anyway, so I had AI generate. I don't know how AI came up with that idea, but anyway. So, press release, public talk. Fred the Heretic enables AI in the sciences, industry, and humanities by Dr. Roger F. Molina and Fred the Heretic AI software. We are pleased to announce that Dr. Roger Molina will be presenting, oh my God, I'm repeating it, the title, A Perspective on AI and Astrophysics in Publishing of the Humanities. The OIT is set to host AI Week. The talk will summarize our research group's experience developing Fred the Heretic AI software. It's based on ChatGPT, has a database that contains everything that Fred Turner wrote during the 82 years of his life in the humanities, including science fiction, academic articles, and poetry. Molina will elaborate on Fred Turner's insights, how his best poetry and science fiction has been heavily influenced by his private life that we have not yet designed into the AI. Human prompts often rely on private information not available on the internet. For instance, the dreams that a human has while asleep, or the level of trust one develops with people one has worked with for decades. But AI is not an adult yet. We cannot trust what young AI children tell us. And I looked up the age of AI.
About 10.
There are no teenagers yet. It's amazing. There is no available software today that was created more than 10 years ago. I mean, there were experiments, then the babies died in the cribs and cots. But it's sort of an interesting thing that, in human societies, you tend to trust people you've known for a long time. With AI, you've never known it for more than a few years, and so why should you trust it? Okay, I'm diverging from my press release.
I don't trust it.
Sorry?
I don't trust it.
Yeah, no, I mean.
I always proofread everything.
Okay, so as a professional NASA astrophysicist, I experience in data analytics and algorithmic analysis. In their bracket, people have been using AI for 80 years, but it keeps changing names. Data analytics is calculating things from numbers and deriving conclusions. Well, that's a form of artificial intelligence. And I just remember 40 years ago, having these huge databases and trying to make sense of them. And so we had a pattern finding algorithm. Things that are further away from us of a different type, the things that are close to us. Well, there were millions of these objects, so we didn't have time to look at them one at a time. So we developed software to figure out if there were different objects far away than nearby. And then I was the executive editor of the Leonardo Publications at MIT Press for 4 years. And before we publish an article in an academic journal, we have 3 other humans read it. And I just submitted an article to Leonardo, and I got feedback from a human copy editor with red lines on things that I misquoted from other articles, or I contradicted myself later in the text. So it's called a copy editor, which is sort of a poor profession, but all I can tell you is my article is getting better and better. But when AI does that, it just gets more and more general and less clear, and it doesn't know how to focus down on the way humans think. And then more recently, an article came out, so a group of AI researchers submitted an the article was written by AI and reviewed by humans. And they had 60 articles submitted, and the humans approved about 80% of the articles written by AI and about 30% of the articles written by humans. So there was a difference. I mean, they did a very rigorous test where they had articles generated by AI, and then they didn't tell the human reviewers, and then they had articles written by humans. And it was, anyway, if you'll find it online. And then Fred the Heretic. And then just to conclude the press release, I'm on the editorial board of the special issue of Leonardo with Tsinghua University in China on Augmented Wisdom is the title of the issue. It's about to appear. You will get a free copy in Mandarin, in print, and in English online. And that's where we got into this whole discussion of how intelligence is defined in different ways in different cultures. What is intelligence in China and what is intelligence in Ghana may overlap, but they're not identical. And the AI industries that are developing in Nigeria fail the Turing test in America. And so we're siloing the AI, I guess, to come back to, and so for further information, contact. So I'm an initiate. Flavia and Dante have written more press releases than I have. But
Definitely not.
well, no, but it is I know it's a puerile exercise that your teacher did with kids, but it makes you think differently when you have to compress something into an equation. This is why you should read this. This is why it's important. This is what so and so said about it.
It's also interesting because I've done B2B press releases,
Uh-huh.
not B2 to consumer. So it's completely different.
Yeah.
What do you mean
Like,
B2B? What do you mean?
Business to business.
Business to business.
Oh,
So,
okay.
The target audience is completely different because you're not
Yes,
advertising to.
Because something really important is if you're doing a press release for a radio station, it's different for a press
a magazine.
journal or for
Yeah.
TV. Because for example, if you're doing for a radio station, the image
It's
is
irrelevant.
irrelevant.
Or in general for B2B, you don't want to use quotes. At least depending on, we're tech B2B, so people are very antisocial. And so any association with human relations and connection is always kind of.
No empathy or sympathy.
Yeah, no, you just want strict, hard data facts.
We're selling this to help poor people. No, B2B, you don't talk that way.
Yeah, I like the observation about the quotation part. At work in the IT world, I work that environment. We do product release all the time, similar to press release, but it's all about the product and to internal users. And there are a lot of overlaps. Most of the items Dr. Mina mentioned are also the focus of what we do for product release, and it will focus on what is product's benefits, what impact does it bring, why do you want to use it. I think most are very practical but very condensed too. And usually when we do a beta release and then product release in phases that time, that also give us a phase. We just release these products in different phases so people don't get surprised. And afterwards, we do a follow-up, so that's the cycle.
Product release. Okay, so I think Dante had a press release to read out to us.
The individual or the person?
No.
I made a presentation about what goes into making our press releases.
Okay.
That's,
Is it already open?
yeah, it's already open.
Where?
The one that you had this, PowerPoint, those window, maybe you can shrink. It has multiple windows.
Somebody. These are the only windows that are open.
Did you close any?
No.
I think we
Yeah,
have.
is he on the top left? The box?
This one.
Oh, is it
You got
this?
Yeah. I'll find your folder.
Oh, it's the through the file directory.
Right.
Okay, interesting.
It's a little different.
I thought we had to use the browser for that. So. I just went a little over basically what we've been doing at my company and some of the recent things. Just it's again about our B2B press releases. So the current activity over the spring break, I've been working on launching a new outreach campaign for my company, ReadyWorks. And the main goal of this is to increase the awareness and exposure to our branding by any means necessary. And so one of the elements of this is starting press releases on our recent product developments. So it is kind of more akin to essentially product releases, but we're doing both like press releases on Newswire and also newsletters. So as a quick background, my company is called ReadyWorks. We're B2B software. We do something called DPC, which is Digital Platform Connector. Essentially, we just help companies manage and orchestrate their systems at scale. The way I like to describe it is that a bunch of all the different applications and programs that a company has speak different languages, essentially the different silos, and we help bridge those gaps so that all of the data works together and you can do things with that in an efficient manner. For the press release, we're B2B, so it's very different than messaging to consumers. There's a lot of boring professionality, lack of soul, and no fun whatsoever. The focus is on recent initiatives. This is what I was talking about. It's our partnership with another company, and we're trying to focus on the partnership itself. So we have a team of writers and designers. So for this, in this case, I had to write the draft request and then edit, give feedback on the draft once it came back. So I created like a brief request.
So that is the whole request.
Yeah, that was a brief request, but I was also
No, that's amazing.
yeah, and then I spoke with her. So we worked together, like a head writer for 3 years now. So at this point, we speak a lot. Like we don't need to speak as much to be able to communicate. She understands the product and the company and the kind of messaging that we go for.
So she works in an independent company.
Yeah, she's freelance. Yeah. Once the draft comes back, then I need to get the content verified. This is because like we're representing the company externally facing to other people, and so we need to make sure that the claims that we make and the statements that we make are valid and legitimate. We can back them up with evidence, or at least these are things that the salespeople on the sales side are okay with saying or having out there. So I'll pass it by some of the higher ups in both the sales and the dev teams. And that's most of the time just to clear out the verbiage. Sometimes we say something or we change the word in editing, and that ends up changing the actual meaning from a development side. And so that's an important thing to check out. So then here's the final draft of our text draft for the doc. This one hasn't been sent out yet, but it's a lot more streamlined and less fun than yours, Roger. There's no images. We just have the picture of our logo. We would never have an image other than that. Also because there is not really anything to show. It's a software, so there's not really like anything that can be catchy. And it follows more or less the same structure as what you were showing. But it's mostly bullet pointing and pointing out essentially the value of this and the like the return on investment and the reasons for why people would be interested and excited about this. We do have a quote actually, but it is a quote from our CEO, so it's it's not really like as much about the product as it is about the market with regards to why we're excited about the product releasing. And then from the production standpoint, once the draft gets approved, we have our designer design the entire thing. In this case though, it would probably be through Newswire, so it's just text, so he doesn't need to do anything. But in the case of a newsletter, you would design a newsletter template. And we send ours. Oops.
Sorry to interrupt.
We use Newswire, which is an online press release channel. I don't know what it's actually considered. All I know is it's the one that all of our partners use, that we used to use. And so there's an annual membership fee, and the cheapest press releases go for around $400 to $500, so it's very expensive. But that's kind of the business corporate side. If you're like a individual, you can just send your emails out. But this here, you pay for the service of connection. They send it to the proper channels, all of that stuff.
And they have licenses.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have their whole business model is that they connect to all of these things. They're the person that you go to for this. That's the basics.
Very
of
helpful.
it.
Excellent, thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, anybody have something else to show as a press release?
Only about the press release or
I think Orion had something. Did you?
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to see if what I did was kind of like a press release.
And we have an assignment deadline. It is April the 29th. So because the last week of, or the first week of May is the last week of the semester. So
So the experimental publication website, this would be a press release, March 25th, 2025. The kind of catchphrase, or I guess like the first title is Publishing Redefined Digitally. I stated the place where it's located, Dallas, Texas. Experimental publication website, innovative initiative at the University of Texas at Dallas. Today announced the launch of a groundbreaking digital publication platform. This platform aims to revolutionize the way academic research, student work, and publications are presented and shared with the academic community and beyond. And then key details of announcement. I just wanted to make sure that this is kind of how you format a publication for a press release. Okay, with its innovation approach and digital publication, experimental publication introduces a range of features that allow for interactive, multimedia-rich presentations of research and scholarly work. This platform is designed to provide authors, students, and faculty with an easy-to-use interface to publish and to share their work in an engaging, accessible manner. Then goes into the details of the announcements for experimental publication, additional relevant information. We then go down to a quote: Ryan Chastain's views, EXPUC or experimental publication, publishing for future generation and to chew and digest excitingly, said Dr. Roger Molina, misspoke Roger, a professor of experimental publication at the University of Texas at Dallas. And about the experimental publication website, goes on that, and then for media inquiries and contacts, has my name, email, and then the website. That's about it.
Can you show us the website?
Yes.
So, sir, how can Tina Kim publish something without your permission?
I'm working on that right now.
Okay? So the idea is everybody in this room is allowed to publish something without anybody's permission.
Yeah, that's correct.
Except pornography and terrorist threats.
Yeah. What
Okay,
I
show the members.
still haven't updated it yet. I don't have anybody's picture yet.
Oh, there's nobody there.
It's still just this.
I think we already had members for, one is ISER Lab, the other is for ES, Emergence Studies, and he can use that, right?
Oh, whatever. Okay, keep going. Show us the publications to date. Flavia Costa. Did you write that?
No,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
the publisher lied.
Oh. No, AI wrote it.
Ryan, are you planning to publish something Flavia is going to write, or is writing, or you're?
He's gonna publish all our press releases.
Yeah. So prior to the break, I showed y'all this as a beta page,
Okay, can we see Dante's?
and then Dante's is probably the coolest one that I did, because you just listen to it and then you write about your thoughts. Dante likes it. Dante thinks it's cool.
I think it's fun.
But
Shh. I was listening.
I was too. Didn't listen. Onions.
No, I want to. Okay.
you're still listening to it.
Turn it all the way up. Never heard of a website where you can hear the sound of food cooking. And you have to guess what it is.
Do we want to show some videos to some images while listening to the sound?
No,
The whole point of
the
the
sound.
Yeah,
No.
It's sound. That's why.
No, that's
Oh,
the,
maybe
that's
later?
why people will, holy shit, I'll say,
Or maybe later?
what is a pepper sound when it's like when it's cooking?
I mean, I can make it to where
What does a milkshake sounds like?
once it ends, another button pops up, and it will take you to another page, and it'll explain everything that was in there. I mean, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like, this one's like 6 minutes. There's no slide. I know that we had talked about this before, but
I
not.
can break it
moving.
up as far as like I can.
But just
No, I think,
I don't know if anyone will get that far. You
no,
know,
but I think that's part of the
I think
provocation.
it's fun though. Yeah.
True.
That being said, like we could definitely do that. I don't think it would hurt because it could be some sort of.
Is that you
fulfillment.
clicking or is it the food clicking?
Dude, it's pathetic.
The knife hitting the cutting board.
I mean, I would listen to figure out what's coming next.
Do you cook a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can figure out.
But
Let's see.
it's actually kind of fun. What we can do right now is based off what I have right now. People will just give me insights on what they want to see better on their pages. We can do that. This is a recording Cooper, correct?
Yeah.
So I can go back and listen to it whenever?
Yeah.
Perfect. Flavia, I'll start with you.
I wish you could see like a timeline for the sound so I can move forward or go back.
Yeah? With it.
Yeah, I think.
But you
we've
can't
talked
do
about
that
this
when you're
before,
cooking.
But maybe.
But it's part of the
Experience.
UX
Yeah, I think that might help.
experience.
Yeah, it works. Okay, I can do that.
Like obviously, some people might skip things, but
Okay,
maybe
go back
also
to
if
the
they want to
list.
rehear something, right? They
Go back to the list. Who else has published something?
Yeah, I can do that. I can add like a button right here and right here that can like skip forward 10 seconds or 30 seconds, something like that. Or
Yeah.
I can always-
forward.
I think that would help for
Yeah.
sure.
That's a UI thing.
That's not very experimental.
I coded all
Okay,
this.
Belinda
Oh,
Amate.
So, I can do that. So, for yours, Flavia, this obviously, this is a publication. This isn't your like podcasting or anything like that.
Mhm.
How would you like your podcast to be set up?
I think that we can publish the jelly pod test that I made using some different voices. And I'll start record soon, so we will have more material.
Perfect.
I have 2 episodes in fact
So
on
what,
the jelly pod.
so what I was thinking about doing is, so for the publications, what if I redo a little bit, I make it stacked to where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, like 6. And then I'll then have y'all's names. And then I will have y'all's top publications in it.
But you can have a lottery.
But as soon as y'all, as soon as you click on their name, it'll bring up a list of their publications.
Okay, that's fine. Or you could have a lottery, so you could have a spinning wheel and then it would just pick one of them at random.
I
Oh,
can,
okay.
I can figure out how to do that.
I withdraw the suggestion.
Um,
Lottery publication.
Belinda,
Our picture.
how can I make yours a lot better than just this?
Don't worry. I'll just send you a folder with a lot of stuff. Probably, I feel like sometimes I work a bit different from you all. So I put everything together and I can give it to you.
Yeah, just
So don't worry about it.
just send me images and literally whatever.
I'll send you everything.
And I'll
Including
make-
some conferences I'm about to attend, hopefully this week, next week. Everything I do, I'll put them together and then we can have it.
Yeah, because my ideal thing is that I'll make 3 different mock websites, and then y'all can pick which ones y'all like best, and that's the one that will go on the final website.
It makes UI testing.
Exactly, and that's really easy for me to do. It's really whatever y'all prefer and how y'all want for y'all's publication method to be. However, I will add a little bit of my twist on it too as well. Perfect. And Tina, I'm gonna add yours as well.
All right.
And then I'll also, I have Rogers as well, but I'll add, in the members, I'll add photos. I'm gonna double check, make sure everyone's okay with that.
You know what a broadsheet is?
What is that? Broadsheet? It's like a type of cheese or something?
Anybody know what a broadsheet is?
I will literally come up to it with a camera right now. and
Okay,
take a
pull
picture
up
of it.
AI, pull up ChatGPT, explain what a broadsheet is today. Explain what a broadsheet in quotes is today.
Is that how you spell it?
Broad, B-R-O-A-D, broad, B-R-O-A-D. Not a board sheet, a broadsheet.
BR.
What a broadsheet is and what are emerging trends.
Sheet,
Uh,
cheat or sheet?
yeah, sheet like that, right?
Yeah.
A broadsheet is a large format newspaper, typically measuring around 22 inches by 28 inches. Through size, though the size can vary. It is known for its more serious tone and focus on comprehensive reporting, often conveying national and international news, politics, economics, and cultural issues. Historically, broadsheets were seen as prestigious or formal compared to tabloid newspapers, which are smaller and often focused on celebrity gossip, sensationalism, and entertainment. Let's see. Trending. Zoom out just a little bit. There you go.
Data journalism, what the hell is that?
Data journalism. Broadsheets are incorporated in more data-driven content using visualizations, infographics, and interactive tools to present complex information in accessible ways. This helps readers better understand issues related to economic, political, and global events. Do you want to know what the definition of data journalism is?
No, that's fine. I think we all get it. What else is in the
Video and
on local
multimedia
news.
content, personalization, and artificial intelligence, focus on local news. Yeah.
Okay, so I recommend that your experimental website, one of the versions is a broadsheet.
Okay.
A digital broadsheet. And part of the idea of a broadsheet is you can print it out on paper and leave it lying around and people can pick it up and read it. And not on their cell phone, on paper.
Makes sense. Okay.
Did it show the digital examples? Don't look digital to me.
That one kind of is, maybe.
Funny, it does
You
not.
showed the same things.
AI is stupid. No, but seriously, as part of, there's a resurgence of digital broadsheets, which is basically publishing things online that you can print out and put in your briefcase, and not read on your cell phone. It's just it's not a huge trend, but it's noticeable.
Thank you. That's something new.
Who's next?
Anybody volunteer? Ladies?
Okay. I don't know anymore. Nope. Sorry. Oh, this one? There, because it's not in order. Sorry. Yes.
Can you expand it, maybe?
What?
Can you expand, or do the zoom so we can see it better?
Awesome.
Thank you.
What is new here is, I have to present everything because it's midterm, or I can go just for it.
Your
Okay,
decision.
I'm really excited about this thing. It's because last class, professor said that I supposed to think better about the name of the podcast. That was until now, Art and AI, Creativity and Transformation, and I thought that was too big, and I started to use Creativity in Transformation, but I decided to think more about it, and I did a brainstorm, and I have 6 names for think today. So, I want to hear you about the names. What do you think, and what can I use and why? So the first name is the creativity prompt. Because I like this name, I don't have a lot of reasons. The second one is the AI avant-garde. May I pronounce it right? Okay. To talk about art and AI and this characteristics of experimentation, the avant-garde, because it's always thinking about the future and the perspectives of something. So I think that this is a classical name. The third one, artificial canvas, just because it's a poetic auction, but I think that probably this is already exists. I have to research. This one I love, remixed by AI, a real explanation of the project, because probably it's gonna be remixed by an AI, and as a podcast is something that you only will hear, so I think that remixed is a good word for this. Creative code break, trying to not include AI in the name because all of them have AI for some reason. And the last one, the singularity sketchbook, to create an unexpected name. Do you know, like those things that you say, what? And then you go listen just to understand better the name.
Okay, so how do we vote secretly?
I don't know. I don't think that you have to vote secretly. You can just talk to me. What do you like?
Okay, so give feedback one by one.
Here, the creativity prompt the AI avant-garde. Artificial canvas were mixed by AI, creative code break, and the singularity sketchbook. I just give up about this one, the prompt sketch.
Can you go back to the pictures real quick that you made an AI made real quick?
Oh no, Adobe brands, I forget the name of it. Adobe Express made it to me.
Can you go down quick?
Yeah.
Just go down the images.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. No, it's just to illustrate something.
Well,
not-
no,
Yeah. No.
But
Just keep going
Is
down.
mine focused on it?
Good to
Remixed by AI. That one or Creative Killbreaker.
I like the
Same
first.
here.
Can you go to this? Can you go to the sixth?
I like 6, but I also have a comment on another one.
Okay.
I like number 1.
Go back to number 1.
Not as much the logo, but I like the name.
No, the logo, don't care about the logo.
I like the name.
I'm just thinking about the name.
Okay, Belinda, which ones do you like?
Well, I think I like remix by AI
Yeah.
and the next one, the one that comes after that,
This one,
creative code break.
number 4.
Creative code
Those
break.
ones I liked as well.
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
that explains what the project's about.
Tupper, what do you think?
I like number 1 and number 5.
Okay. Tina,
I'm hesitant, struggling, and can you refresh your memory? What is your product?
Of course.
Yeah.
I trying to understand how art process and the cognition of the art is being challenged by the new possibilities of artificial intelligence. So this includes authorship, for example, or why people like more something made by a machine than constructed by a human person. So this is the thing. Understand what challenge art are facing with artificial intelligence.
okay, go up to number 1. Okay, so I kind of like the word prompt, but let me just explain again, and I know I've told you this story before. My son Xavier works at Disney in Hollywood, and his job title is AI Imagineer. And the narrative that he explained to me that Disney says, we're going to let AI do all the creative work, because creative work is just recombining existing things in different ways. That will free people to use their imagination, because imaginations is thing that isn't in the database yet. So if you make that the imagination prompt, I would love it.
Okay.
Okay, but anybody else want to give feedback? This is UX UI 101.
Go back down to can you go back down to 4 real quick? 4 and 5.
Okay,
So the creativity prompt, it does indeed go with your project.
but the imagination prompt would be better. We disagree.
Okay.
Okay, I have a, go ahead, Tina.
Yeah, I was planning to choose the first one too.
Mm,
As creativity or
Yeah.
imagination?
that's creativity.
Creativity
probably.
for your time.
Yes.
But
Okay,
was
but I have another idea. Since he is a imaginative web developer, maybe every time you open the page, it could have a different of the 6 names. So one time when you click on it, it would be the creativity prompt, then it would be the AI avant-garde, and you can have 6 names. Or maybe, 2 in the morning, it would be one name, at 4 in the morning, another name, at 6 in the morning, and, no, I'm serious. I think that would get people's
I
attention.
have more names because those 6 I just.
Well, no, so
filter
no, I'm serious. Have a rotating name, So that every time someone clicks on it, they get a different name and it makes, oh, is that what I'm looking for? And then they click on the next page and find what they were looking for.
Wouldn't that cause issues for discovery though?
Yeah, that's
So-
great.
But then also people looking for your product.
You
can't
become
find it.
I think that the difficulty here is the brand process, you know,
No,
how
no,
to
no, no.
input an idea
We're trying to
when we
experiment
get
here.
into-
You know what she could do? Instead of doing that, the logo could change slightly different every single time.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the logo can change.
Logo, so like, go down to number
It's
4
a
again.
podcast, I don't care about the
Go
logo.
down to number 4, sorry.
Or you can
I'm
do
a visual person.
Well, yeah.
So plan a podcast is something really difficult for me. But the thing is, if the image should change, I don't think that it's a problem. But if the name change, this is gonna be a problem because in the
So
No, but then you say, just Google my name and then you'll find it.
what you can do?
welcome to an experimental podcast. I have to say this in every single episode. So if the name keeps changing, I don't know what to say
No,
anymore.
but I mean, no, this is experimental. We're
Yes.
trying to get people's attention by doing something unusual.
So if you do the creativity prompt, just use the logo and the color palette.
No, don't worry about the colors here. It's
No, but
just
he
because
wants it to be different every time you click on it.
no, this is completely possible.
Can you go down to 4 real quick? Sorry, I just wanna.
What?
Can you go down to number 4 real quick?
Number 4.
So, like,
The very concept of remix is
I
every
like it.
time it would be different. It would be
Yeah.
upside down
Yeah.
occasionally. It would be upside
Okay,
up.
okay.
or
It would be 3
reimagine.
stars sometimes.
or yeah, reimagined or something like that. I mean, because the stars could like change every single time. Like they could be like different locations.
Reimagined by AI. Oh, I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time it would be, the name would be stable, but every time you see the logo, it would be slightly different.
The creativity prompt. I mean, it flows really.
yeah.
It flows really well. It does. I just don't think AI whenever I think about that right away.
Good, good. So we have number 1 as a good one. I really like DAA avant-garde. Oh God.
Okay, no, but, okay, I would call it the AI derrière card.
There was an idea that was digital renaissance because there's something changing as the renaissance, but it's digital. But
Okay.
I just put it aside. I had to choose. Yes. So number 4 also people like
No, but
it.
keep adding to the list of names. I like the exercise.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
next time you bring the new ones and we can,
Oh no, I don't pretend to. I have to record this.
yeah, and finish.
Oh, okay. So
We'll make a decision.
let's just decide today then.
What? What's?
Like, do you want first to like vote today and just to
Yes, I just bring the 6 name just to hear your inputs.
Yeah, the
because-
creativity prompt's good.
But
Yeah.
you're getting different inputs from 6 people, so.
Yeah, but I think that the thing's not I choose number 1, I choose number 2 is I like this idea because of that, and then we can adapt an idea or definitely say this is the better one because this can some have thoughts here. So I think that this is the more important, the debate and not the final name. You know, I can work on the final name.
Who will be your audience, target audience?
This is something that I was thinking.
But I think it's in your document.
What?
The target audience is in the document.
Yes. So the thing is, I have a target, but no, it's here.
Go find.
I don't know where it is. It's too long. This. But the thing is, I was thinking to do something more academical to align with the projects that I have in another courses or things like this. But
I was talking with a friend and I realized that he used artificial intelligence for fun. And I started to think, why I'm thinking about to talk with professors and important people, let's put like that. I can talk with my friends, I can start simple. And so the approach will change a little bit because I'm not talking academically anymore. I'm talking with regular people that use artificial intelligence for simple tasks or for fun, you know. And I will start. I can start simple, and if the because something really difficult right now for me is I have a list of faculties here in UT Dallas that I can ask for record an episode with me, but I don't have the name of the thing yet. I have to finish that first, but. But in the middle of this process, I just realized that I can start simple, and then I can amplify the content of the podcast. You know, I think that's gonna be more useful, and I will be able to produce more episodes, and this will give me some skills and some and improve my ability as a host somehow, and then I can go for the other people that I'm targeting today.
Okay, good.
And the other thing, just to finish, is my press release. Do you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my press release, I put my contact here. This is the title, New Podcast Creativity and Transformation, is in gray because I had to change it. Explores how AI is redefining art and the human expression. A bold, because I think that you have to put something like bold.
Exactly.
Yes, about the new podcast exploring how AI is reshaping creativity, challenging artistic traditions, and redefining the future of creativity process. So I explain a little bit about the podcast here, hosted by PhD researcher in creativity thinker Flávia Costa de Souza, so the entire name. This thought-provoking series dives in the ways AI is reshaping artistic expression, democratizing creative spaces, and this democratizing is because the script for Belinda, and redefining who gets to create. And I don't have a quote of someone important because the thing doesn't exist yet. So I put my own quote here.
That's okay.
But when I have a quote from someone important, I will put here, okay?
Oh, no, and as you interview people, you can get a quote.
What?
As you start recording
Yes,
podcasts.
exactly. But as I didn't start it, so I don't have any quotes to
Okay,
put here. But I put myself. AI is not just a tool, it's becoming a collaborator, a critic, and even a competition in creative process. Say the host. And this podcast is about asking big questions. Who controls AI-driven art? Is it truly democratizing creativity, or we are just building new digital gatekeepers? So I put my own quotes for the things that the project just give to me. Everything that I did in the project before was really helpful here. You know, to construct what it is and what is important, is everything up there. And the last paragraph, let me see if there's something important here. No, it's more about explain the dynamic format, welcome artists, researchers, and curious minds to reflect the role of technology shaping modern creativity.
And imagination.
Yes. The thing is, as I said, for different medias, I used to do different things. And here I think about an online media. So that's why I made this format like a block, without put bullet things. Bulletins are amazing, but for a product, for an exhibition or for something like that, and that's why it is like more. It's a product, but I'm trying to sell an idea, and
Okay.
not. I don't have to list anything here. And when this will, because I have to ask who, when, why, how is here, discussion. Somewhere I put it will be available somewhere. Yes, it's everything here. I check. Oh, here it will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and everything. So
Mention
are
his
6
web-
questions that you
mention
have
his-
to
mention
check,
his-
and they
Mention
and they
his
check.
website where it will be available.
Oh, okay. I just
Where-
thought
Emergence
as
Studies
okay,
Health Center.
okay.
No, his website is going to be more famous than those in a few years.
I agree.
It's gonna be,
This is it.
it's not the off-center website, it's the external publication website.
Well, whatever it is. Name it something.
Okay.
And then people say,
Okay.
oh, Spotify, Apple, I've never heard of that one. I better check it out.
I got it.
Okay. Who's
Nice
next?
job.
Thank you.
Very sweet. And I'm a humble women leader.
Okay, I don't know if you can help me with this reading too. So I record the first episodes with my friends.
I like that. So it's local knowledge.
And it's easier. They are from California, so.
No, but those people you know well.
Yes.
So it's out of your village.
I changed the name for Imagination and I sent my CV for
Well, no, but you can do a bit
Disney.
of research because, there's innovation, ingenuity, creativity. I mean, there are different terminologies that people use for doing something different.
Yes.
And if you just call it creativity, I think you're just pushing an old button.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? You see this one? Alright.
We're so close. Yeah,
Okay.
you can see it.
This is going to be fun editing this evening.
So, for my press release, I had to, because I wasn't sure of the format we had to take, and so I have one, if it had to be posted on something like a LinkedIn or something, and then, yeah, so I had a shorter version, like a one.
Okay, just make it bigger. I think these are going to be fun on the website, the
Yeah.
press releases.
I think so too.
Yeah, so this one goes like straight to the point, no long talks. So probably I should do the very first one, so we have like broad,
Oops. I didn't finish reading it.
Oh, sorry. So this is the longer version of the very first one. So I have these 2 quotes. One from I don't know. I don't know much about Edmund. Is it Burke or Berkeley? I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but and I have one from Emma Watson, who gave a speech in September 20th, 2014, and was talking about women empowerment something. So I chose these 2 and it kind of flows together. So I'm like, all that is needed for the forces of evil to triumph is for enough good men and women to do nothing. And then Emma Watson comes telling us the number of years it will take if nothing is done for women to be paid for the same work that men are doing and all that. So basically this press release didn't focus much on my projects for the whole interview podcasting, it was kind of doing much of my research. And so I also wrote it in the third person because I was like, oh, from other places I checked, it had to be in the third person's voice. And so, yes, he introduced me, PhD candidate, surveyor, and the call on global institutions, particularly the UN, to reimagine how gender and artificial intelligence are addressed in global technology policy. Because that is like the very important part of it for me, the policies and how these UN kind of treats everybody. They send the same communication or plan to everywhere, hoping it's going to work. So the policy is very important to me. So I talk of how what my work does, that is investigating how AI systems and institutions that shape them impact the visibility and labor of women in technology. And then, because I needed another quote to kind of reinforce this whole thing, I've heard Professor Molina talk about how important this research is, and other professors. So I kind of chipped it in to bring it short. I should have done what Ryan did by asking you for a quote, but I guess I just assumed that, well, let me just chip in something, and then I did that. So I included his name and Professor Cooley's name. And then I had some calls, initiative calls for collaboration with UN agencies in some areas. So I just listed some 4 areas that I was looking at. That is rethinking global communication strategies about women in tech, supporting intersectional research into algorithmic policy bias, and co-creating feminist frameworks for evaluating AI ethics and platform design, as well as amplifying the voices of global South women, especially in technology policymaking. So all these things kind of connect directly to their SDG 5 and 9. So I also brought that in there somewhere, conclusion. And then I brought a quote by myself. I don't know if it's good enough, but yes, I just brought this quote and said, oh, my vision is for a world where AI innovations aligns with justice, equity, and care, not just efficiency and scale. So I just added my name there. And then I feel like the UN has the power to kind of do all these things. So if they do that, they can only do that if they listen to everybody differently and act boldly. That's what I think.
I have a question.
Okay.
What does DEI stand for?
Diversity, equity, inclusivity.
So I think you used equity, but I just like the work that you use justice and care, so you don't upset the American politicians. No, but it's funny. I mean, right now, there's this whole negativity about DEI in this country, but justice and care, I think, is a way of thinking that's really a good idea.
Yeah.
And so rather than use equity or gender or inclusion, just talking about justice and care. I mean, who's going to disagree that we should live in a just world and a caring world?
Yeah, I think I realized one thing going through the UN's press releases and all that is they have a language, because I feel like they don't want to cause trouble.
Yeah.
So they always come up with something soothing to their ears. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let me just think about something like that and chip it in. If Ryan's website becomes the famous website we're looking out for, and a UN official goes to look at it, they will see, okay, this language kind of aligns with what we want to do. So yeah, that was the brain behind it. Yeah. So
No, I think you're onto a good thing, but I do think we've got to keep our head under the hood in the current environment in this country. I mean, he's only president for 4 years, so
yeah.
and we have elections every 2 years, and so we're just in a meat grinder, and the cooking analogy is
Works, blender.
we're in a blender, and so I don't think we should react to what's going on at the moment, but just start building justice and care in the future. So words matter in politics, and so aligning with the UN language is one thing, but using words that don't upset the governor of Texas is another thing. No, it's funny how words matter, and so I'm very excited.
Thank you. So basically, this is what I have as my first release.
Nice job.
Okay, have we gone around the room? Tina, what about yours?
Me, I shared some pictures with Ryan actually, of
Okay,
my
can
work.
you show them?
Sure.
No. Okay, this is really important. So this is an art science lab. People should express themselves rationally, logically, with press releases. They should also tell us what's on their mind in other ways. Sometimes that's called art, sometimes it's called poetry, sometimes it's called photographs. And Tina is brilliant. No. I mean, I saw those and I just started thinking differently about you.
Oh, okay. Thank
Well,
you.
go ahead.
Let me show you. Oh, probably need you to sign again.
Like,
It doesn't.
No,
Just
just click on
choose
photos.
something.
just choose photos.
choose photos. Okay. Always.
Then it'll ask for your password.
Oh,
No, seriously, make it bigger.
okay.
Doesn't this make you think differently about Tina?
Wait, Tina, you made this?
Yeah.
Painted this or?
What can you tell? Oh, tell me what you see.
Well, I see a clear watermark of your name.
Yeah. That's the only thing I use a watermark. Can you
There's
tell?
somebody that can.
That's really pretty.
The thing that struck me is the sky is made of cement bricks.
Yeah, no,
Isn't it? The sky is
So-
made of bricks.
it kind of looks like,
A cement wall.
no, it looks like,
Collage.
it,
Collage,
it looks like
a
stained
paper
glass.
No,
Yes, it
stained glass
does.
is geometric and tidy.
Oh,
Well, hey,
hardly.
Well, to you, it looks like concrete. To you, it
No,
looks like concrete. To me, it looks like stained glass.
Stained glass is only ornate when it's meant to be. Most stained glass is actually, or at least whenever it's collected,
and-
these non-symmetrical art forms,
No,
it's
I
not
mean,
meant to be
Cooper's getting
Organized.
technical right now.
thoroughly like that.
I don't like that.
Like if you look at all the places where they actually have stained glass, like in church windows, all those are symmetrical.
Yeah.
They all have one.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
looking to have designs. Oh, like this is over here. Oh, I need to apply rule of thirds on this part. Oh, I have the character set right here. No, it's all centralized. But these kinds of things.
Anybody else impressed by something else in this image?
It looks like you took like almost like pieces of like paper and like kind of like put them all together almost.
Yeah, it looks like
Because-
Words on the
Yeah, it
plants.
reminds me of a paper
Because I
bag.
mean, there's different words and there's different things and
On the plants.
it almost looks like scrap pieces of paper, maybe like little pieces of newspaper, and they're all kind of just like kind of jumbled and put together to make this abstract artwork.
You know, when I first saw it, it looked so conventional, you know, an impressionist painting, blah, 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 blah. But then the more I looked at it, so, you know, the bricks of the sky collapse into buildings on the ground and they all become gray. But it's the same shapes as the shapes in the sky.
It's sprayed out.
Yeah. So we're trying to enlarge it. Yeah, Ryan, you have good observation, I should say.
Really?
You have good observation.
There you go.
Not only good listening, ear, eyes, everything. You just
There you go.
you
Just
saw
don't ask about his fingers. He doesn't know how to cook,
yeah, you need to learn from Dante.
how to use your fingers.
This is like a, you're right, collage. I use recycled newspaper and
Oh wow!
magazines
Wow!
and
Very cool.
just piece of papers, magazines, newspapers. You see the words there. That's because it's really a magazine, and put the colors together and then fake and oil painting.
Wow,
This is
that's amazing.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Tina,
How long?
Thank you.
what
Tina,
have
this
you-
is this is beautiful.
Thanks so
Seriously.
And it's gonna be on the website.
How long did this take to make this piece?
much. I don't remember. Actually, I did it with the instruction of a friend who's no longer with us. He was a famous athlete, internationally famous athlete, but he's multi-talented, and he created this kind of
And
art.
he died playing baseball.
He football, soccer actually. You are so close. He was good at baseball too. Well, anyway, he created this, and then he was interviewed by Dallas Morning News, and he was called environmental artist.
Okay, so this is, this, you just put your finger on your private life with your dead friend.
Yeah.
It's important to know to interpret this picture, that AI has no private life.
No, they never.
No, I mean, isn't it amazing? You started telling us, and now I'm looking at it differently. Okay, what's the next picture?
The picture, the portrait.
But no, just go down the list.
Okay.
How long ago did you make that? Did you make that?
That one I don't remember. Probably in a few weeks.
No,
it was-
like how long ago?
how long ago? When I was a student here, actually, it was.
Oh, wow.
That
In
was
this
like
room?
10 years. Almost 10 years ago.
And again, I mean,
Of the
increase.
Canva.
It's 16 by 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, this one is just, AI would never come up with this.
This one is my former boss, and she became a long-term friends, and she we
No, but
went-
there's something about that expression that is so, I mean, it's not just that she's looking you in the eye, but her mouth is about to say something, or, I don't know, Tina, I had, you just,
You had the same sense and feeling that what I had when I first saw a portrait of her.
yeah.
I met her and I saw the portrait. It just touched me. Something in her eyes touched me, and I
And
told
she's
her.
still alive.
Yeah, she's still alive. We talk on a weekly basis.
Tina's
Actually,
mausoleum.
go ahead.
Did you ever publish your first one?
Yeah, you're right. We published it in the UTD calendar. One of them took that picture. You saw it, or are you? Why do you ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my teacher recommended. A professor said, "Hey, Tina, your work. I think you should send it to UTD."
Have you
they
published
published-
this one before?
Yeah, a UTD calendar.
This one too?
No, not this one. The colored one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, but for his website, this is called a premiere in the,
Okay.
what's it called in the art world in the press release? This is the first time this painting has ever been exhibited,
Oh yeah. Well, that one we published before, so probably.
but not that one, okay, next.
That was Carol. That her portrait. This is an oil painting. This is her mother. I did 3 generations. Oh, it's bigger now. Okay. So this is an oil painting. Her mother, beautiful lady. When she was in her 85 years old, and he's no longer here now.
Tina's mausoleum,
And
what a
this
great
one.
gallery name.
Mandy, the DC. She has beautiful eyes. Her eyes, the color of her eyes, kind of a green, between green and blue. And the photos I got, I couldn't see clearly, so I visited her actually in the senior center one day. We had lunch together in order to see clearly what her eyes look like. And these are our memory now. And the family didn't have any oil painting. That's why I decided to do an oil painting for them, so they can pass it generation by generation. It's become a family asset now.
Heirloom. Yeah.
And Julie is the youngest one of the family.
They do look like related, don't they?
Yeah, the 3, yeah.
Something
generation.
about the eyes in that family.
Julie is the daughter because when my boss was empty nested, and she missed her daughter, and she wanted to remember what she looked like. I said, okay, I'll do a portrait for you, and that's Julie, and she's
Well,
not
don't
a
make a painting of all the people in this room.
young
We
woman.
don't have eyes that are that interesting.
And this is a landscape. I just saw from a picture from the magazine. I thought this was good, and I just did one. And
So you
did a lot of
painted that
changes.
too?
Yeah, I painted this one. So
That
I
was a
use-
little bit routine.
yeah, this is a very routine one.
What the hell?
Still really pretty.
What the hell, dude?
Well, then
You give me 2 months to try to complete that painting, all you get
no,
is
and
a bunch
that's,
of squiggles.
okay. No, but I'm really excited, Tina. These are gonna be up on this website. I don't know what you're gonna call the gallery.
I'll
but-
do, I have a special gallery for the 3 pictures of the ladies. And,
Yeah, I was thinking do the ladies originally, but I put a landscape is because I want to tell the story of Carol. Because she spent 10 years while I was doing my PhD. She reviewed my every single paper for, and he's my proofreader. And while doing that, she's doing genealogy research, and we'll finish at the same time. She finished her book. And she's her family was originally from France.
France.
Yeah, they are French. And she has a whole book, and I just appreciate her work, and I bought a copy. I was trying to tell a story they're coming from. This is a small family. The first picture is like the landscape is telling about the story of this French family migrated to the U.S. and settled down.
Okay, so how do we connect Tina's work with each of your projects? So
Don't.
gender and AI, she doesn't use AI.
I'm going to use the AI to do an interview maybe of her book and then tell the story.
Her paintings don't emit sounds. Well, oh, you could record the sound of her painting as she's painting.
no, we're not gonna.
Just
It's too late.
Maybe drawings that
That's
You could obviously interview her, but then you have to connect this, that you're anti-AI.
Oh, I'm talking about art. I can totally construct a script about
Okay,
the art process.
Cooper the Texan, what do you think about her work?
It's fantastic. I took one drawing class in high school and learned a couple of techniques.
Picasso.
I don't think that I could ever contemplate doing something that impressive, especially something as like the oil painting.
yeah, both painting and that.
It's funny
oil
how
painting.
it makes you think differently about someone
thank
It
you.
does.
No, it does.
when you see that creative work.
When you see somebody's talent, it really
Almost,
speaks of them
picturesque.
and what they enjoy
Professor
doing.
Malina said something that is really real.
Okay.
When we saw this, we completely changed how we saw you. Because it's incredibly expressive, and there's something like subjective that I can't explain with words. Even in English, is worse for me. But it's really subjective, and this changed the way that we understand who you are, because you present yourself like someone that worked in a fancy bank and do a lot of research, and you really good in what you're doing here. And when you saw this is something really soft and incredibly something that we can feel, so this is something that really changed the way I see you.
Appreciate it.
No, I mean, that's why we try and mix art and science together and business and, and AI doesn't have this ability
Yeah.
to think differently about things based upon the artwork they made.
You
in
present yourself as a technical person.
Did I?
Do you know, like a researcher or something that, but no, this is really sensitive.
Thank you.
This carries some emotions, right? The fact that you love this family to paint, like,
And that's why
all of
artificial intelligence can do this, because it's sensitive, tells a history, give you goosebumps, and the artificial intelligence never would do
So it's the granddaughter, the mother, and the grandmother.
Grandmother.
Oh, wow. And then none of them are in STEM careers. Oh, yeah, no, the mother is.
The mother is
Well,
my
yes.
coworker, she's
The mother is in
was my
STEM.
boss.
Your
and then
boss.
yeah, she was my boss, and then now best friend, a close friend.
Okay, very good.
How come you didn't paint hair? Well, I don't know if she was married, but how come you didn't paint the other platform?
That's a good question. My boss was,
Probably because it's just by generation, right?
No, I mean, the mother had a husband.
Yeah.
yeah,
Why didn't you paint a picture of the husband?
because
Wouldn't take,
They're not blood.
he wouldn't take his clothes off.
They're blood in law, but
we'll take this out, right?
Okay. Okay, let's not answer the question.
Okay, then I'll do that in the class.
Okay, so what are we doing next?
Our next actually, I think is related to our women leaders. Women leaders here. We're going to have an event, UTD event called Women in Animation. It's scheduled on the 23rd of April, if I remember correctly. And Dr. Molina promised that we're going to have a booth. And so we're going to present our Fred the Heritage.
No, but you can present this too. I mean, I think that you can complicate it.
Okay. Let me go to the very end. Oh, where is it? Okay. Bless you. Oh, no, that's the very beginning then, in the agenda. Here, yeah. It's called the WIA, how to say this word, Dr. Molina? Palooza. Yeah, this is the one, the presentation. Originally, Dr. Molina suggested the Fred Heritage, but
No, you can do whatever you want. We've been accepted to have a booth there. I think it's in this building.
yeah, I think so.
The lobby or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know, please, Belinda, work with Tina on this, and we know we'll contribute.
Yeah, the whole class can support you. And because it's animation, I'm glad Cooper is here. He is our expert in animation. And UI expert is Ryan. And Ryan also promised us to record a voiceover for the video, the wonderful video that Flavian made,
gladly.
right?
Yes, no.
So you have so many supports here. And also the lab members and the emergence studies members, they are also available. So if you can work with me and Flavia will help you to put this together.
Okay, so my question is, what exactly are we going to do?
Yeah.
What is
Tina and you can have a lunch together and decide.
And Flavia.
Okay.
And Flavia.
Uh,
No, I
because
mean,
of
seriously,
animation.
you have total creative freedom.
Okay, we'll
They've
decide
accepted that we can have a
Okay.
booth that connects AI and women. And,
There's a lot of people to present, there's a lot of,
Right. It's a live exhibition.
uh-huh,
Everybody has a booth and we have our booth so we can
Okay.
demo.
And I think there's a stage where you can say something. I think you would have to go look at the format.
Okay, we'll figure out.
Okay, so you done, Tina?
I'm done.
Okay, I have a final assignment for the semester.
dun, dun, dun.
Done, done, done.
If I never picked up that letter and then I'll pick up this paper, then I don't get the assignment.
Okay, so pick up the side
A
that
lot of papers.
it says experimental curating spring 2025 big picture. You got it? And this is a broadsheet. You can't read it on your cell phone. Curating is an interdisciplinary process that involves selecting, organizing, and presenting, collecting objects, ideas, or content to create meaningful stories or experience for an audience. Blah, 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 blah. So I would like, before the end of the semester, that we curate something that interests you at the moment and have Ryan Chastain publish it as an experimentally curated work.
Sounds good.
So the boring thing would be make a list of interesting books you've read recently and why you think they're interesting. And then Ryan can publish your book reviews. You could use AI to select ideas you wish you had and why. And I asked AI to do that, and it came up with a wish list of 10 inventions that someone wished they had been invented. And it's available at that URL. So what would be 10 things you wish existed that don't exist yet? And then Ryan can publish them. And then I'm just going to give you a little more of my background on curating. So a very close friend of mine is John Ippolito, who's a professor at the University of Maine in the Northeast United States. And he was a curator at the New Museum of New York and the Art World, blah, 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 blah. But then he came up with this stupid project called The Pool. And it was a group of people like us. You could upload something on Ryan's website, and then depended on what the other people in the group thought of it, it would rise to the top of the website. And if people didn't think it was interesting, it would sink to the bottom of the website. Hence, it was called The Pool. But then what he discovered is something that had sunk to the bottom of the publishing pool 3 years later started rising to the top. And then it sank again to the bottom. Hence the name The Pool. But we could create a pool on Ryan's website.
Yeah.
Where each of us publishes something, and then we click a button, say, yeah, we like this, and then it rises to the top of the website. And the ones that nobody clicked on sink to the bottom, and then when we meet again in 10 years, we could click on the website again and different things. But, it was, you can see how much he changed my mind at the time, because when you publish an article in a book or a journal, it's done, it's finished. It never disappears. And it never becomes, rises to the top of people's attention again, with exceptions. Rhizome was started in 1996 by Mark Tribe. And I just remember sleeping on his sofa in New York when I was visiting one time. He had an art studio in New York. And at the time, the art world was so negative on digital art that it was frightening. The Museum of Modern Art would not show digital art in New York. The Louvre never showed digital art. It was frightening how the art world was so negative. And so they started this thing called the Rhizome, dedicated to supporting and showcasing experimental art. Initially conceived as a website, but then it got included in the New Museum of New York. So I have a long history of working with experimental curating. So I guess I asked ChatGPT, what are the emerging trends in curating today? And I happened to include the keyword Africa. Oh no, the emerging trends. First was NFT marketplaces. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. And I'd never heard of the platform called OpenSea, or Rarible, or Super Rare, where digital art galleries where artworks are minted, listed, and sold using cryptocurrencies. Well, okay, artist empowerment. Digital art that bypasses intermediaries such as galleries or auction houses. It's called democracy, I think. African curatorial practices are evolving in unique ways. Reclaiming indigenous narratives. Community-centric curation. So it's not just the curator decides, it's a group of people that decides what to show in the museum. It also ensures that the exhibition speaks to local, social, and political realities. African creators adopt creative, low-cost, and grassroots traditional media, painting like Tina does, with digital platforms like Brian does, and performance art to tell multifaceted stories. So you dance the painting. Could we dance your paintings?
I think so. Why not?
Well, everybody would have to stare without moving their eyes. And then the global-local dialogue. So I just want to put the seed of an idea in your brains that before the end of the semester, I would like us to get Ryan to help us curate in some way about something about, and I have no idea right now, because I just want it to be a little bit different. And AI curation has no interest in this case. So how could we take one idea out of each of your heads and knit them together into a virtual quilt? What idea do you have at the moment, Cooper? It's bedtime.
Hardly.
He's got to go to work at 8 in the morning in his company. Tina changed all our minds today because we thought she was just a technician in the bank.
Right?
Flavia can't figure out what to call her project.
All
She's
your artwork.
creatively
I'm
confused.
still mesmerized about your first one, your second one, that you're like
The first one or the second one?
first and second.
Can you combine the two?
I don't want to. No, they're great how they are. The first one, I would love to make the boat move and the leaves move, and I'm sure I can figure that out somewhere in like a video editing thing. But that'd be cool to see those two move.
No bell. We can ask AI to do a 4 season using the same scene.
What?
Oh,
4
okay.
season.
4 seasons?
Summer, winter, and spring.
So the name changes every 3 months.
Yeah, we can use the artificial intelligence to mimic that style and make a
Oh,
4
the
season
picture would be seasonal.
a seasonal, and we can do that. That'll be.
Okay, let's stop having ideas. No, seriously, thank you, everybody. This is what you're paying tuition for, is to think of things you wouldn't otherwise think of.
Thank you, Dr. Molina.
Well, no,
for
thank
letting us,
you.
express and exchange ideas and all these bridges. It really helps.
No, and then, Ryan is the knitter, so
What?
you're the knitter.
Oh.
Knitter, no. I mean, you're weaving together these things in a different way and on 3 different versions of the website.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of them will sink and one of them will rise in the pool.
And I'm so impressed everybody made the press release already. It was due end of semester. You guys did a wonderful job today already.